yourself. Free. Free your mind. Free. Free your heart. Let it go free. I said free. Free yourself. Free. Free your mind. Free. Free your heart. Let it go free. Free yourself.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. You're now tuning in to Free Yourself Saturdays with Troy Weeks Music. Ladies and gentlemen, just so you know, I always want to intro and let you guys know what Free Yourself is all about. God gave me a vision, and I want to tell you what it's all about. So Free Yourself is the final step of the process. It is the release, the woosah. It's the moment where you cross over and transition from being the victim to the victor. All the steps you needed to take and should have been covered by this point. You should now be ready for the rebirth of your new beginning. If this has you thinking and you're not quite ready to free yourself, then that's fine. The moment when you'll be ready, when you're ready, we'll be right here waiting on you and we won't take it lightly because the awakening depends on you. In this segment, we let people call in so they can publicly free themselves from what's been holding them down or back from being great and moving forward in their lives. Freeing yourself is symbolizing the letting go of that stronghold and having the power over it now. Doing it publicly allows you to tell that situation, that thing, that through the power of spoken word, you now have the control over it, and it doesn't have the control over you, ladies and gentlemen. That's what Free Yourself is all about. You're tuning in live on Spreaker.com, brought to you by Savage Media Radio. And what we want to also reach out to people is, besides freeing yourself in that general aspect, there's so many ways to free yourself. There's also, if you have a dirty little secret you want to air out anonymously on air, you ain't got to tell us your name. You want to air it out. You want to say something, call in. You want to reveal your sexuality to your loved ones on air? Call in. Has someone hurt you and your feelings are hurt and you just want to be heard? Call in. Or do you just want to express what makes you free and inspire somebody else and motivate somebody else? And we want to hear from you. That's right. You can hit us in the chat room if you're listening. If you're here, you can listen through Spreaker.com. Please follow us on Spreaker, by the way, if you're listening. It's very, very important. We're going to do a giveaway this week. We're going to take one person from that giveaway. We're going to give you something special just for following us on Spreaker. It's very important. All our information is there. That's how you get access to us 24 hours. So it's very important. Follow us on Spreaker.com, Savage Media Radio. All right, we're going to get things right into it. So this week, we're going to start. This is our second week, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. So, I hope you guys are ready to enjoy yourselves because last week was great. We went way over our time because it was just a great moment. So on the line with me right now for this first segment, this first topic I'm going to get into, I got my girl Coco, first of all. Coco, you there?
Hey, what's up, Troy?
Coco. For those who don't know, Coco is the big lady, the big boss. She runs Savage Media Radio. She's the one that gave me this opportunity to allow me to do what I do. But her vision, her mind, her way of thinking is crazy. She's awesome, amazing, and she's a boss. That's
Thank
right,
you, honey.
talking about you. That's right. So, hello? Listen, so we got Coco, and we also got my girl Phoenix on the line. Phoenix, are you there?
Yes, sir. Hello.
Hey, Phoenix Rocks, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. That's one of my really good friends, my homegirl. She's an up-and-coming artist. She's also in her own right. She does seminars on songwriting and all kind of things. This woman is on the rise, hosting alongside your boy Troy Weeks Music. We got some things we're working on in these streets. Shout out to Chill Talk TV, just so you know. And,
Trill Talk.
But anyway, Chill Talk, shout out to Street Judge too. That's our first family, so where we started from. So shout out to them as well. Miss Precise, we love you, girl. First topic I want to talk about, something I posted on my Instagram, and I'm not sure if you both seen it, but I've spoken to you both about it. But it's very important to me, and it's something that we need to realize in this day and age in the world that we're living in. Some things need to change, okay? We just changed it to a new year's 2018, and I'm just sick and tired of being sick and tired of seeing the same things go on, and nobody's speaking up and saying nothing about it. And what I'm speaking about specifically is regards to these young kids, these young teens in middle school and in high school right now in the streets of these public. If you live in if you live in a major city, then you know what I'm talking about. If you're riding the train, the bus, you know what I'm talking about. And at the end of the day, the situation is this. I was in the store. There was a grown man talking to himself in the store. There was kids outside saying curse words and doing all kind of craziness. I go in the store, get my stuff, and I leave. As I walk out the store, I'm shaking my head. And as I'm shaking head, I walk by and I say, you know what? Something inside me says, go back, go back. So I went back, and when I went back, I just had to stop those little girls, and I just had to think about my daughter. And I was like, you know what? I said, ladies, young ladies. That's what I said. I said, young ladies, excuse me. Y'all seem like very smart young women. Y'all got on y'all uniforms from this academy around the corner, so I know y'all smart. Y'all don't need to be arguing with a grown man. This man seems unstable, seems like something's not right, and you don't want to put yourself in a predicament where he can snap or do something crazy. If you feel like this man disrespected you, when an adult disrespects you, you go get your mama or your daddy. You don't put yourself in the middle of that. Y'all understand where I'm coming from? And then the little girl started going back and forth, like, well, he did this, he did. I said, listen, it doesn't matter what he did to you. At the end of the day, he's a man and you're a young lady. Go get your mom or your dad if you feel that strong about it. And after talking to them, they was like, you know what, you're right, mister, you're right. I feel you. So at the end of the day, this is what we're talking about. I'm gonna kick it over to Coco first, Coco, because I know Phoenix lives in a major city, so she gets where I'm coming from. But I'm not sure if you've ever experienced this or know what I'm talking about in regards to what I'm saying with this. But you definitely may have experience in some other way. But Coco, can you give us a little insight on this if you have anything to say or listen or based on what I said?
Okay, so let me get this story straight. So there was a gentleman that was talking to himself, and then they decided to just pester him. Is that what was happening? Or
No.
what was it? Because
And I found
I
out
got I
later
got
on.
lost.
I found out later on that what happened was is that guy they were already arguing. They were already arguing.
Okay.
They were already going back and forth. That's why the girls were standing there. But I didn't see them arguing. When I walked up, they were there. He was in the store, and they were out there. So that's why I said in my mind, I walked in, he was talking to himself because he's just
Oh,
talking and
okay.
nobody's. So then I
Gotcha.
realized after I was talking to them, I went back in the store. The guy, I don't know his name, the crazy guy, he said, come here, they want you in the store. So I'm like, okay, I go in the store, and the guy's, I guess he was trying to tell me, like, whatever the situation was. I was like, sir, I'm not getting involved. I'm just telling them he's a grown man and they're young. They're young ladies. They do not need to be getting arguments with a grown man.
That's what
That's
I'm
all I
trying to
said to them.
say. That's what actually I was going to say. I was just like, this just sounds crazy because these are children. So why is this being instigated on either part of their sides? Like, why?
Not
Like,
only is it being
I know,
instigated,
like,
Coco,
it doesn't just happen in the inner city. It happens over here, too. I mean, I'm from Newark, so I've seen crazy shit, too. But that just sounds ridiculous to me. Like, it just seems like on the gentleman's part, like, it just seems like maybe he has no reference of the fact that these are kids and
no. He
just
visits them all the
walk
time.
away.
He's always in that store. And I realized that this is probably something that's done continuously
Is he a little
on a
off?
daily basis. He is a little off. That's why I was like, when he
Okay.
was talking to himself, I understood. But then when I saw him arguing with those little girls, all I could think about was my daughter. But it wasn't even that.
Exactly.
What made me angry was the fact that these are so many grown people walking by, standing around.
And
No
doing
one's
nothing.
saying anything.
Yep.
I'm. This is the problem because if he then gets crazy and slaps one of these little girls and grabs them up, then everybody's going to be oh. But he
Mm.
said out of his mouth that one of them grabbed a stick and hit him with a stick or something like that. So
Wow.
to me, this is what I'm saying. How did it evolve to all of this? And nobody said nothing, saw something, didn't say anything.
That's
This is nothing.
that's kind of the time we're in right now because I see people like getting beat up on the street corners and people take out their phones and say nothing, and these will be like a whole gang of people, be like 3-on-1, and one person's getting beat down and all people are doing is just walking by, taking a quick picture and not really saying anything, and no one's speaking up. But on the part of the children, I think, like you said, people need to raise their kids to know not to instigate things. One, to stay away from people that are older than them. Don't, it shouldn't even have escalated to that point because that, like I said, this whole situation is baffling to me because I've never really seen or heard anybody escalate something to that point coming from an adult, even if he's a bit off coming from an adult though. And I'm sure these kids have seen him before probably. I'm sure they know. I mean,
So
I don't
this
know,
is
but I'm pretty sure like if they live in the same neighborhood, they probably know of him. So, if I had children, I would always tell them to stay away from the people that are trouble. How old were these kids around? Like
first
around
of
what
all,
age?
these little girls, they were saying fuck you. They were sticking up their middle fingers, and these girls
Jesus
were in middle school,
Christ.
or maybe ninth grade if that. They had
You
to be
know,
seventh, eighth, or ninth grade, and it's just it makes me angry because
what's
I'm seeing
crazy
coming out
though?
of the store.
It's
God, I'm
kind of
listening.
crazy because I grew up, me and my family, we're very open. We are Me and my father were like brother and sister. We argue, we love each other, we have a great time. I've been cursing since I was 13 years old. I mean, me and him go back and forth like we're literally brother and sister, and that's just because that's our home base. But I was never brought up, I never cursed outside the house. I never talked to adults in any kind of manner. I always had, you know, I was always polite. I always knew how to speak around people and in public, like around adults and in public in general. So that's a
Place
fucking
and
shame
time
because
and a
they're
place, and you knew that.
Exactly. I knew that it was a time and a place for it. It wasn't appropriate everywhere. This is just how we have our home life. But for these children, it's dangerous. One thing, it's not even just about being impolite. It's a danger. You say the wrong thing to the wrong person, you can lose your life. Especially in a big city where there's people with all kinds of personalities, all kinds of issues, mental health issues. Some are homeless, some are perfectly fine, but the perfectly fine people are the ones that are not protecting these children. So they have to know how to behave and how to, to not shoot their mouth off on random people or people who are off, or just kind of know the dangers. And I totally agree with you, though. I feel like you said in your video, I feel like people need to start steering their kids in the right direction so they don't put themselves in dangerous situations like that. All I see is danger from that, to be totally honest with you. It's scary to me.
Danger, danger, danger. Can I free myself for 1 second, though?
Yes.
For 1 second. So I've never really said this to nobody, but when it comes to this situation, I'm not an angry person. Everybody knows me. I'm a very positive person. But the train makes me angry. I get on the train, and I'm around these situations. I see all these things, people with their bags, and they're not making space for people. I see all these things, and it just makes me angry. So I'll be scared that someone's going to say the wrong thing to me, and this positive Troy Weeks music is going to flip all the way out. Because I do have a temper, and I'm crazy, and I know it.
It'll take you out of your character.
So I try to, this is why free yourself is important. This is why I can woosah and say, you know what, I'm not going to take myself there. I'm not going to allow them to push my buttons. But you know what? I got to bring Phoenix in on this because Phoenix is a New Yorker, and she's been listening to this, all this. She's from Brooklyn, first of all. Brooklyn! She's from Brooklyn.
BK.
Represent.
The home of Biggie and Jay.
Yes.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I went all the way to Australia, okay? And I said Brooklyn, and people was like, yes. And I'm like, first of all, this is not be real life. There's no way.
Yes, we have passports, too.
Everywhere we go, somebody's from Brooklyn. But anyway, Phoenix, you've been listening to all this stuff that's going on.
Yes.
I really need you to touch. Give me sprinkle something on this, because I know you got something to say.
Well, I'm not totally old yet, but I'm not young. And I say that to say I try to examine every situation from every side. And the main part of the situation for me is that it is beautiful to be friends with your kids. It's beautiful to have open communication, but there has to be a line of discipline. And what has happened is a lot of adults get caught up in themselves, even though they have children, and these children begin to raise themselves.
Exactly.
And they're influenced by social media. They're influenced by the world we live in. They're influenced by adults who are grown and living their lives, and they start to live vicariously through these people. We have come into an era where disrespect and being disrespectful is accepted. It's almost kind of like reasoned.
Reality TV.
Children believe now that they're on the level of an adult. Now, in contrary to me saying that, I still do believe that children deserve an amount of respect for being human beings. Period. And we have come to a point where we have conversations in front of children that are inappropriate. We do things in front of children that are inappropriate. They're listening to music that has inappropriate messages that parents are not sitting down to explain to them what these songs are really saying and what they're about. So you have children interpreting and being their own little mini versions of adults, and they feel like they're on the same level. Now, as far as the other adults in that situation not speaking on it, that's a whole other era of people not being willing to live in their truths. There was a time where people in communities stuck together. And when somebody's child was doing something that was inappropriate, or they were caught doing something that they shouldn't have been doing, by the time they got home, everybody in their house already knew what was happening. And they were made accountable for their actions. Now, you have people that say, well, mind your business. You don't want to get involved in people. And you will have those parents that sometimes respond negatively. But I have a way of subtly kind of representing the parent and putting the respect back onto the parent. Because I'll say something like, if your mother was here, is that something that you would be doing? See, those are the kind of questions I ask. I'm not going to sit in the matter of where I feel like I have authority to tell you what to do. I'm going to ask you, is this something you would do in front of your parents? These are the kind of questions you have to ask kids. And there's a respectful way of addressing them and addressing these type of situations without it turning into something negative. But a lot of times adults speak at children and not to them.
Exactly.
So that's why they get a negative response in return. Anytime I've been in a situation where I felt like I had to speak up, I've never gotten a negative response out of children. And most of the time, it was the adults in the situation who were embarrassing themselves and making a scene. So it's almost like we've become reversed, where we have grown people who are not yet adults, who are just grown kids, getting into scenarios with children who were not taught respect or how to respect other people, or more importantly, themselves. Because not going back and forth with somebody really at the end of the day has nothing to do with the other person. It has more to do with you and you honoring your time and your energy, and not allowing yourself to succumb to someone who doesn't value your time or your energy.
Right.
So
I agree.
I'm
true.
really,
I'm about to give you some money,
invested
girl.
at where things are going.
We're
So
gonna have to give you some coins because you really you speaking the truth right now. Like, this is what I'm
Exactly,
talking about.
really, for real. Real quick, I just want to shout out somebody in our chat. We have Daquan Carter, who said there's no
Yeah.
longer a proper structure in the family. We have become desensitized in the world star hip hop era. Totally agree. I feel like that is a huge influence. It just not just that in general, but just the culture has been a huge influence on children's upbringing. As Phoenix said, there's not always that parental guidance. There's not always that discipline. So they do turn to social media, they turn to websites, they turn to what they see on YouTube, and kind of project their personality and the way they feel they should act based on what they see. So I totally agree with you, Daquan. Thank you so much. Definitely got to shout you out in the chat. Appreciate you being the first one to chat in our show. What are we doing right now? We're on number 2, right? So first person to shout out our chat in our second episode. So thank you so much.
Yeah. I gotta say 2 things about that. One, shout out to Daquan, because that's my cousin. Shout out to you. I love you, Coco. That's what you need. You gotta support. That's what I'm talking about, and that's what we need. And I told him I'm gonna get him to call him one day, because that's a wise man right there. He got a lot of good things going on in his life. He's a great father to his kids, and thank you, Daquan. Shout out to you.
Thank you so much.
Shout out to our girl in Florida, Noemi. Shout out
yes,
to you, girl.
Noemi, yes.
I want to make sure I shout you. I told you I would, so shout out to you. But before we keep it moving, I want to ask a question to you ladies. Something that bothers me in regards to all of this, because you're talking about social media and how kids are exposed to social media. I had a situation today alone where I was using my phone to mirror to my TV for my daughter to watch something. And the question is this: do you think that Instagram, Facebook, Tumblr, all these things should have a age privacy function button on it somewhere? Because I feel like it's so easy now for kids to be exposed to all of these things. Because when you pull your Instagram open, the first thing you see is somebody trying to be, who shouldn't be naked.
Somebody twerking
and
naked.
My daughter sees this. I don't want her seeing this foolishness, but unfortunately, I had to deal with that. I should have just, whatever. The fact of the matter is, should there be an age privacy function on these social media platforms so that kids can be less exposed to this? What do you ladies think about that? I can start with you, Coco. Go ahead.
I'll start off on this one. What I think it is that yes, there should be. I feel like there should be, some type of restriction. Should be some kind of code, but at the end of the day, that's not gonna stop all kids from seeing things. There's a lot of very smart children that know how to decipher things and decode and know the code that your parents are going to use, because they use it for every fucking thing. It's not going to stop all the kids. What'd you say?
One of those kids. I know you are.
Yep.
One of those kids. I'm exactly
I was
why
one of
you know
those.
that.
I was one of those.
Yeah.
But no, definitely. But as far as, I think it just goes from like who's raising the children. Like you see your daughter see something inappropriate, you're gonna shut the computer. You're gonna move her away. You're gonna be like, act like it never happened, so that it doesn't leave an impression. But then there's the parents that are not that vigilant, that are not observant, and a code is not going to help them. I'm sorry. I mean, should there be? Yes, to deter the children that are not, as curious or younger or cannot, get bypass it. But is it going to help much? I really don't know. That's my opinion, because, today's day and age, it's just honesty. The fact that kids know a lot more than you think they do, at very young ages. So is it going to deter many children? Probably not, but that there definitely should be a fail-safe, at least for the kids that are too young or that are impressionable or that, wouldn't know the password. There should be something. There should be some kind of firewall, I believe, before, you can access everything in everyone's account.
Got you. Cool. That's it. Thank you, Courtney. I appreciate that. Phoenix, let me tell me what you think about that.
I think that it really has nothing to do with app control. It has to do with parental control. If you are not having the right conversations with your kids and you're not being, like, really what it comes down to me is people being accountable for their actions. Like Coco said, it has to do with parents being alert and being aware of what's going on around them. I think a lot of people don't. I think they subconsciously don't pay attention to their kids because they also know that their kids are watching them. And bigger than the
Right.
kids being on a computer or being on a phone, they're watching you. So if you're not moving in a certain fashion and you're making poor decisions, or you're at least not being private about the bad choices you're choosing to make, because a lot of us are self-aware of the decisions we make, we just choose to make them anyway. But if you're not going to be conscientious of what you do around them and what you hold yourself privy to and what you entertain, you cannot hold them accountable for whatever happens or whatever they choose to do for your lack of conscientiousness towards your actions even. So, like, if I'm so busy into my life that you're on the phone all day and I'm never having a conversation with you or paying you any attention or taking you out or let's go to dinner or let's go to a movie, how could I totally want to blame you or fault you for being influenced by the things that I let you be around and be privy to because I want to be within myself? I think a lot of people have kids and sometimes they still want to kind of be selfish and still be into
Yeah.
themselves. And you can't do both. When you make the decision to have a child, it becomes about them. This is another
Right.
human being whose life you have the power to influence.
Right.
And a lot of us get caught up even in our own, doing what our parents used to do just out of habit. It may not even be a good thing that they've done. So it's even deeper than social media. I think that's when you have artists and celebrities say, "Well, I'm not your child's role model." The reality is subconsciously and
Yes, you are.
in a way they are, but
Right.
you more importantly are their biggest role model. So if you're watching Ratchet TV and you're watching girls twerk on Instagram and that's what you're entertaining yourself with, how could you really hold your kid accountable? And that's what kids are seeing. Like, you're telling me not to do something that you're doing.
Wow. That's it. That's what I'm talking about. Wow. So that leads to my last final point in all this, because we got to keep things moving. And as I close out in this part of it, what I'm going to do is this. I want to challenge anyone listening, first of all, to really just pay attention to your surroundings, to really step up and be the person that you should be, that you were created to be when you see something going wrong, because we all know right from wrong. And so in that, what I want to say is I'm going to give each of you ladies, a minute, like myself a minute, to just say something to the listeners out there who's listening to us in regards to, if some young person's listening, you want to say something, give them that hope, you want to talk about the situation here, whatever it may be. This is what I'm going to say in my 1 minute. Coming from Troy Weeks Music, I know what it's like to come from a background where it's hard to live, and it's hard. You're fighting against like a crab in a barrel trying to get out. But what I did was I took that negativity of those situations and made them positive things. And I look at the negativity things and make them positive things. And in that, you can be whoever you want to be. You're a king and a queen, prince and a princess until you become an adult. And at the end of the day, you have to look at yourself as that. And if you want respect, you got to give respect. And that's how it is. And so that's what I'm going to say to this whole situation in regards to that. I'm going to kick things over to you, Coco. Talk to the people for your 1 minute. Tell them what's up.
Can you guys hear me? Because I was working in the chat, so I don't know if the mic is on. Okay,
No, I
cool.
can hear you now. No, I can hear you.
Awesome. I would just say we just have to try our best to lead the children as best as we can. They're our future. They're our next leaders. They're gonna own our companies that we are gonna work in. They're the future. So you definitely should start from the generation after you and to create a better America, a better world. Definitely bringing up your children to be respectful, polite, have a heart, have a heart of gold if possible, to definitely be stronger people in the future, be leaders, create a new us, because right now the world is full of hatred and full of selfishness, and we need to create a new society. And the way that works is from the children. You definitely have to know how to lead the future and how to put your values onto your children, onto the children around you. Even if the children around you are not yours, try to be a good role
Hello.
model and try to make it so that we have a better future and a brighter future with a bunch of individuals who care. And that's kind of my biggest thing. Just lead the future is what I have to say.
Got you. Come on, Courtney. Hashtag power to the people. All right. Phoenix rocks. Phoenix rocks, girl.
Yes, sir.
Mhm.
Well, what I'll say is first is we all have the responsibility, not even to each other, but to ourselves, to live in our truth. And what that means is if you know in your heart there are things that you are not doing that are right, you don't even have to acknowledge them to the people around you, but you should hold yourself accountable to figuring out ways to overcome those things and challenge yourself. And sometimes we're not always honest with ourselves, which is why we get stuck in certain levels of dysfunction and we continue patterns of being self-destructive. Now,
Mm.
when you
Preach.
choose to be that
Talk
way
about
and
it.
then have children, it reflects in your children as well. And so there's 6 degrees of separation. And even when you don't want to be responsible, you feel like I shouldn't put myself in someone else's business, there is a way that that energy can resurface and come back to you. It can either affect your children, someone you know, because you didn't step in a moment where you had a responsibility to take action. So whatever way that is, whether it's volunteering to help people in the community or seeing a situation happen and stopping it or choosing a positive way to try to diffuse the situation and you don't take that opportunity, it could come back to you. So hold yourself accountable, live in your truth, and never, always speak up for what's right.
I love that. Use
Absolutely.
your voice and use your power. That's definitely something
Yes.
that everyone can live by because it'll be a better day and a better tomorrow, you know?
Yes, I agree. That felt really good. So, Phoenix, first of all, thank you so much for joining on this call,
Thank
whether it's
you,
for right now.
girl.
Thank you for having me, guys. I appreciate an opportunity to speak for what's right.
Yes.
I'm trying to practice what I preach.
We
Amen. And
love
that's
it.
why you're my friend. But before we let you go, you got to tell the people where to find you, where you at, where to look you up, what you got going on, just real fast. So that way, definitely this is a platform. That's what Free Yourself is. It's the people's platform, Courtney. That's what I call it.
Yes.
The
The
people's
people's
Yeah.
platform. And so
platform.
this is what we want, So go ahead, tell them where to find you,
Yes,
where to
well,
look
my
you up.
name is Phoenix. My Instagram is yes, that's Phoenix. I spell Phoenix with 2 X's, PhoenixXX. So it's yes, that's Phoenix. You can look me up. I have some links. I'm on SoundCloud as Phoenix Rocks. Everywhere else, I'm Phoenix Rocks. And I definitely have some stuff out there for you guys to listen to. I'm working on some new stuff for Valentine's Day and for February and
Yeah.
Black History Month.
Ooh.
So I'm really excited about the month of February. I have some new music coming out. I haven't done anything yet as of the new year because I wanted it done right. And I'm going to have a new visual coming out too. That's going to be super sexy and really in tune for Valentine's Day. So, yes, guys, check me out. Hit me up. I'm not bougie. I into decent things. And I also host events. So, BB Kings, if you stay tuned to me, there's a BB Kings showcase coming up in February as well. So, come out. Come chill with
That's
me.
right. Come on, support.
Yes,
Thank you so
everybody
much
check her
again,
out.
Phoenix. You
Yes,
can also
thank
check
you.
me and Phoenix out on True Talk TV on YouTube, as
Hello.
well as episodes of, yes, we'll be right with you, Tanisha. You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Stay right there, Tanisha. We'll be right with you. You can check me and Phoenix out on episodes of True Talk TV on YouTube, as well as Street Talk TV. Thank you so much, Phoenix. We appreciate you.
Yes, I appreciate you guys. Have a good night.
You as
Thank you,
well,
sweetheart.
sweetheart. Take care. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yay! All right, guys. So that's going to
Woo!
end that first, part segment. I'm trying to take a deep breath. Coco, take a
Right?
deep breath already.
I feel empowered. Like, I feel like I'm just gonna go and change the fucking world now because
Hello?
I'm around such inspirational people, you know?
Listen, I'm gonna put my cape on and I'm gonna go out here and do it. That's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
So now we're gonna shift things over, and to the second part of Free Yourself on today. So I have my friend with me, a good friend of mine named Tanisha, who, I'll just give a little background. I met her at Applebee's. We both, doing our serving things. I was bartender by that point, but she's a young girl out in these streets doing her thing, and she's in nursing school. And she the reason why I wanted her to call and why we touch bases is because she's doing something great right now. She's a young black girl out here trying to get things popping for her career with her being a nurse. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's not too many of us out here in these streets as doctors and nurses and lawyers and all that good stuff no more. You know what I'm saying? So we got to definitely pour into our people. And so Tanisha, I'm gonna let her finish, like, give you the background and everything about what's going on. But I just wanted to say, welcome to Free Yourself Saturdays at Detroit's Music, Tanisha. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You got myself and the girl Coco on the line.
Thank you. Thank you. How are you guys
Got you.
tonight?
We're doing good.
Wonderful.
We're doing good. How about you? How you doing?
I'm good. Taking it one day at a time. Keeping God close.
Listen.
Yes.
Oh, this is gonna be good. I can already feel it. You already started off with this.
Right?
Perfect segue. Yes, thank you. So first and foremost, Tanisha, can you just give us a background? I saw Tanisha's post on Facebook, and so this is how I found out about it. And I reposted it because that was something she said. You know, if you can't donate, at least repost, let the world know. And I feel like, especially if you can't donate, repost is something that costs no money, it's free. You just got to click a button. And so, can you tell us what your story, your background, in regards to that situation, which you have on Facebook about you in school, and 10K. We're trying to get 10K for Tanisha, y'all. Just so you know. All right, Tanisha, go ahead. Tell them what's up.
Pretty much I owe 10,000 to my school from last semester. I kind of stopped working because nursing was getting super hard, and I had to dedicate 18 out of 24 hours of the day to studying and reading these textbooks and rereading them and writing notes just to make sure that I passed for next semester.
Right.
So thankfully I passed. I got an A and I got a D plus.
Amen.
But then it fell back on me because now I'm behind $10,000, and I'm trying to get it by next week Friday so that I've been sneaking into the classrooms. Nobody repeats this.
Uh-oh.
I've been like sneaking into the class because I don't want 2 weeks to hit and I have the $10,000 and I missed so much information and I already missed an exam and I already missed a quiz. So I'm kind of sneaking into the class, like listening, learning. I'm gonna ask the teacher soon, like if she'll allow me to take the test. That way, when I have the money and I can register, I won't be behind. So,
Got you.
that's being a nurse is my dream. It's always been my dream. I have a special needs sister. She's 16 now. That's my heart and soul. And I also have a 12-year-old sister, and I do this for them. I wanted to be a nurse so that I could understand my sister, so I could understand what she's going through, so I could understand how to help her, so I could understand all these little things. So, it's my dream, and I'm just hoping that it comes true.
Amen. That's all. First of all, no one knows your story until you tell them. So, it looks one way. And so thank you for sharing that, first of all.
Thank you so much. That's really inspirational.
Thank
Yes,
you.
it really is. Coco, do you have anything to say first and foremost? I'm going to kick it off with you ladies first before
I would say
I get going.
I want to say thank you so much. I mean, I don't know how old you are, but I'm pretty sure you're a millennial because you sound like me. So I want to say thank you so much for making us look so beautiful because you are doing all the right things. You're trying to get your education. You're by any means necessary, and that is by far the most inspirational thing I've heard in a long time. Most people would give up in your situation, but you're not willing to give up. You're willing to do this for your family, for your dream, for your faith, for everything, and I commend you for that. So that's one thing I want to say is thank you so much, because a lot of people nowadays would just be like, I can't afford it, fuck that, but you're really trying to create a future for yourself, and that's something that's just invaluable. So thank you so much. I appreciate that. But that's my 2 cents
Yeah.
because, I don't. I want us to get to make sure that we can get the word out and so that we can get that for you so we can hit that mark. So I just want to make sure that we get everything, that all the links, if you can send it to us so we can let everybody know where to find, the campaign and everything. That would be really helpful to us because we want to be able to empower other people through your story because it's so beautiful and inspirational. So thank you. Appreciate that.
Thank you. I appreciate it as well.
Yes,
A
ma'am.
lot of
Go
the
ahead.
the recaps is on my Instagram. It's also on my Facebook. My Instagram is __. So 2 underscores and Mariah Ash, MariahAsh. And when you go on my page, the link is in my bio, so you can just click it and read about it and donate and repost it. So everything's there.
Right. I definitely, I'll share it on our Savage Media Radio page. So don't worry about that. I'll share it on our page. All you listeners out there who are listening to us, it's going to be on our Facebook page, Savage Media Radio. If you haven't already liked us on Facebook, please go to Facebook, Savage Media Radio. I'm going to share it tonight as soon as we finish this call. I might do it before the call is over. Matter of fact, I'll do it before the call is over to show you the man of my word. You know what I'm saying? And it's serious, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, it takes a lot. It takes a lot in this day and age with so much negativity around us to be positive. Now, Tanisha's like me, Courtney. You don't know her, but I know her. Her energy, her spirit it's like an angel. Okay, it's like me. So
I
to hear
agree.
her say this, it's like my heart melts and my heart goes out to you because to first of all be public about something that's so dear to your heart takes a lot of courage.
Yeah.
So you already standing up for all those young women out there who don't think they have enough courage to do something to stand up. You're saying, look, this is the situation at hand. This is the reality of life, and this is what's going on. You know how inspiring that is to so many young people right now? That is
exactly
amazing. So kudos to you on that. Kudos to you now. Like Courtney said, we're going to do everything that we can and repost. I'm definitely going to go fund me and send something. It doesn't matter what you give. 1, 5, 10, 20, whatever you want
Everything
to give.
counts, guys.
It does. I've been having like a lot of people write to me and say like, I'm sorry I don't have $20K to give you, and I'm like, listen, I don't need your $20K. Like $5, $10, $1, 50 cents, like everything adds up, and everything, at the end of the day, everything together might come to that 10,000, and then I can give it to my school with a smile, and then just work and work and work to pay off the rest,
Girl,
So
we
I
are
just wanna
gonna
be able to
be
get
at
my
your
foot in.
graduation. We are going to be there with bells
You
and
are
whistles.
welcome. You are definitely welcome.
Aw,
We're going to be there
thank you.
broadcasting live. Like, look, we're here. Listen, we're going to do that all that we can. Is there anything else? I'm going to, try to touch bases with you, because I love to do what I do in regards to, help you get the word out. I'm going to do what I can. But I feel like a little PSA, using my voice, my talent, my MC skills, something to help you put out a video along with your story to help get people to understand what's going on, too. I want to work on that with you. I want to say that out on publicly right now. Like I want to help you with that, and doing that, I'll do the best I can. And I know that, hey, how you guys doing? This is who I am. This is what I love to do. And so, in doing that, if that's a little something can help you get, pull some extra money in, then I'll definitely try to do that. So I'm gonna work with
Us
you
at
on that. We'll
Savage Media Radio, we have your back. We love to talk, we love to have energy, and we love to stand behind, causes that we believe in and that we're happy to support. So definitely we'll all be here, shouting you out, making sure that we can get you to that 10 grand and beyond, and making sure that you can reach your dreams. So we're all here. You have all of our voices, so let us know anything you need from us, okay?
Thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Of course, no, we appreciate you, and keep doing what you're doing. Because I know at the end of the day, you're looking in the mirror and you're looking at just a smile. I know you said that in your profile, looking at my sister smile every day, knowing she's going to the doctor. That gives you hope. You keep smiling, you keep giving hope, because you just posting that one post that got all these reposts, it's starting that wave of what needs to make that change in the world today. It starts with you, starts with me, it starts with Courtney, and this is the way you do it. So shout out to you, Tanisha. We're going to share it on our page.
You guys are awesome.
Aw,
Thank
you
you so
are
much.
as
You are
well.
That's right. Don't forget, we want our graduation invitations. Don't forget.
Definitely. I'm going to give it to you personally.
Ah,
right.
much.
She making plans.
4 months away, guys. 4 months. Write it on your calendar.
We got you, girl.
Thank you so much, Tanisha. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for calling in, allowing us to bring you in and share your story. And again, we're going to spread the word like wildfire, girl. Don't you worry.
Thank you. Have
girl.
a good night.
And you as well.
Have a good night.
That was awesome. Like I said,
All
that's
right.
that's so inspirational. Like, it's hard because I know so many people that just give up, and I know how easy it is to give up. I've gone through things too. Exactly. Like, you just want to, when you have a dream, you have to hold on to it, and you have to do everything in your power to make it come true. Make everything that you want in your life come to fruition, and it starts with you. And she's definitely taking it upon herself to make sure she accomplishes what she wants to for her family and for herself. And I love it. That's what we're here for. We're here to inspire people, talk to people who can show others the way, because that's needed right now. So it was beautiful talking to her. That was awesome.
It definitely was. And we're here this is, again, ladies and gentlemen, this is officially the second podcast of Free Yourself Saturdays with Troy Weeks Music, and now my co-host for the last 2 weeks, Miss Coco Blue.
Ew.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's important that being this is a people platform, if you're listening and you haven't had a chance to talk in the chat room before we close out, we got a couple more minutes. If you want to say something in the chat room you want us to talk about, you want us to get to, please say something real fast in the chat room so we'll get to you. We want to make sure your voice is heard. And if you haven't had a chance to and you will in the future, please, you can always hit me up. You know how to find me. You can Google Troy Weeks Music. Everything's there. You can Google Savage Media Radio. Everything's there. You'll find us. Let us know what's up. This platform is for you guys.
Yes,
and then before I close out, I want to say one more thing that's been bothering me with social media and these things. And I saw something on TV the other day. And I think what it is I love Ratchet TV. Everybody knows me. I love, loving hip hop, Chicago,
Yep.
Ink, Blue, Black Ink, all of that. So, Cole, at the end of the day, what's really starting to frustrate me is I started blocking off my Facebook all this fighting and all this negativity. because I'm sick and tired of seeing it. And because it's so out there, I feel like reality TV started this wave of it's okay to fight and get crazy and it's
Yep.
okay. And everybody's out in these streets doing it, and it's all over Facebook, and it's just a wave. There's so much negativity that all you see is fighting and arguing and all that. You don't see too much positivity, and that's why we ended up going back to the first topic and why we ended up with all this negativity around this. What do you think about all this, Coco?
It's funny. I actually want to tell something to our listeners because that's actually something that strikes a chord with me as well. Being loud, being ratchet, so we say, being just out there in a negative way is not cute. It's not cool. It doesn't make you seem like a better person or a bigger person. At the end of the day, the biggest person and the one that's known as the hero is the one that kills people with kindness. So I never am for people being loud and publicly hashing out things, throwing cups of water at each other. That's the shit that happens on reality TV. It's not reality TV is very seldom reality, and in reality you have to gear your personality and gear your actions towards the situation and really be observant and find out what is the best way I can come out of this being the bigger person and alive. So at the end of the day, just try your best to deal with things in a very positive and productive manner. Don't have to be loud. You don't have to want to cut anybody. You don't have to be that way. Those are not role models, the ones that you see on the television, the ones that you see on World Star. You just have to do things for yourself in a way that makes you come out bigger and better on top. So that's kind of like what I have to say based on, my feelings about me seeing everyone arguing and fighting, and even just verbally on social media. It's like, it's not fun. That's not what I want to see when I'm scrolling through pages. I want to see puppies. Like, I want to see videos of puppies. I want to see families being reunited with soldiers. I want to see positivity. I don't want to see you hashing out these issues everywhere and at every time. So, like I said, like you said, like Troy said, please just embrace positivity in your life and try to I'm all about zen, so get rid of all the negativity. That's what zen is all about, getting rid of all the negativity out of your universe and learn how to handle things in a more productive way.
I agree. Definitely agree. I definitely got some things to say on the way out too. First of all, you got to be a leader. If you're listening right now to the sound of my voice, the most important thing I want you to know is to be a leader. You have to lead by example. It starts with you. Because at the end of the day, it's easy to be a follower. It don't cost some money to be a follower. It don't cost some money to be a leader. But it costs your pride. It costs your time, your energy. It costs everything you have to show people that if you do the right thing, then the right thing can be done by me. And that's the same way as far as giving respect and getting respect. But being a leader, you're going to get respect anyway. Because if they trust your leadership, if they follow behind you, they're going to give you the respect anyway. But it should be across the board in families and friendships and no matter where you are in life. I think that it starts with respect. And people begin to have self-respect, S-E-L-F, self-respect for themselves. If it starts with you, self-respect, then you will be able to walk into these streets and be able to encounter these situations and not react in a way that'll make you angry, mad, or want to do something. Because you have self-respect for yourself to not want to, even let somebody take you out of your character. I haven't had a fight since I was 12, and I'm 31. And the reason why is because I don't give people the power over me to make me that angry enough to want to react in a way where I have to fight or get physical. Yeah. I'm not giving you that power because that's the power you give them. You give them that power when you say, you're pushing my buttons, I can't take it anymore. The only people that can push those buttons is the people I love very dearly to my heart. If I don't love you, then there's no way you can push my buttons enough to make me want to get crazy. Because that's what love will make you do. Love makes you get crazy.
Yep.
So,
sure it does.
Hello. So that's where I'm coming from with it. It's more like, you know what these kids need? You know what people need? You know what they need to hear? First of all, let me tell you this. If no one's told you that they're here for you, genuinely, I'm going to tell you that right now. At Troy Weeks Music. And if you don't believe me, you can message me. Like Phoenix said, I'm not too bougie. Message me. Send me a message, anything. If you have a question, you want to say something, something's bothering you in your life, you want to talk about it, I genuinely am here for you. So if you haven't heard that from nobody today or recently, know that I'm here for you. And I think it just starts with that, being genuine with people. People need a hug. Then he said,
Right, right. Real quick, I want to just do one more shout out. We got a couple more words, some closing words from our man, Mr. Carter, in the chat. He goes, keep the conversation going. It all starts with freedom to express yourself and not being afraid to have dialogue. Thank you so much. He also says he supports us. Daquan, thank you so much. We really appreciate you sticking with us and listening to the conversation and enjoying our conversation. And we hope that we've done something to inspire you or to, keep you listening, right? You want to take us out, Troy?
Yeah, definitely. Ladies and gentlemen, again, this is Free Yourself Saturdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time with Troy Weeks Music here on Spreaker.com/Savage Media Radio. We love you guys so much, and we really want to give you guys a platform. That's why we call this the People's Platform. This is for you to free yourself. So if you're tuning in now, if you're listening to it after it's already been recorded, please don't be shy. Send us a message, send us a comment. Let us know you're listening. Let us know you're there. Let us know what's up. Until next week, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll see you guys. One thing we always say in all of our broadcasts, what is it, Courtney?
Stay savage, baby.
Until next week, guys.
Free
Stay savage.
yourself, free your mind, free your heart, let it go free. I said free yourself, free your mind, free your heart, let it go free.
I don't know if it's still there, Courtney. I sort of hear you talking and not talking, but if you have to stay there, this is just Looper stuff.